A very warm welcome to TV47 BanterZone, your number one destination of all matters football. Now for the next 45 minutes or so, expect nothing short of entertaining football conversations from myself, Dennis Otieno, as well as my co-hosts Loten Salapei and Eric Njiro. Now, gentlemen, welcome on set tonight. Not a lot of football action in the fields, especially in terms of clubs. But of course, the international friendlies were taking place. Of course, that's going to be one of the discussions that we're going to be having later as the show progresses. But how's the week been for both of you?
I mean, obviously, first of all, I'm grateful, Dennis, to be here again. And I'm really looking forward to all the conversation that's definitely going to be happening, especially using the hashtag TV47BanterZone, Palik on your Twitter. So I'm looking forward to all that engagement. But as for me, it's been a week typical of a City fan, victory upon victory. Obviously, a lot to speak about when it comes to how City scooped up all the awards from the senior level, women level, under 23 level, under 18 level, and obviously in the PFA. So I can't wait for us to get into that conversation.
Well, Eric Njiro, you've heard what Loten Salapei is saying, typical of Manchester City, bagging all the accolades there are in terms of football. What are your sentiments about how the week has been for you, and maybe if you have a reaction for Loten's sentiments?
Well, I do think my week has been fantastic, but like Loten said, obviously we're going to tackle that thing of the PFA, the Premier League, and all the awards, I think, football writers, because there's no way KDB is the player of the season. We're so ready for the next couple of minutes.
Are you serious?
And the Euro 2020 that starts tomorrow.
Well, there's no way Kevin De Bruyne could have won the PFA award. I like how Eric Njiro summed up his sentiments and how the week has been for him. Now, with that said, that's where we get to draw our question of the day so that you can get to interact with us on our social media platforms. Now, I'll ask you the question of the day, which goes like, do you think Harry Kane was robbed of the PFA award? Do you think Harry Kane was robbed of the PFA award? Do send us your feedback on our social media platforms. Of course, while the show is progressing, we'll get to cue the question over and over again so that we can interact as much as possible. I know there are a lot of Tottenham Hotspur fans who really think otherwise about the PFA award. So, gentlemen, maybe before we dive into the accolades that Manchester City earned, how about we talk about Harry Kane and how the season has been for him? Eric?
Well, of course, Dennis, when you speak about the player of the season, we're talking about being the perfect player who has really played the entire season well. If you look at Harry Kane, the goals and the most assists, I think he had the most goals, he had the most assists. That talks everything. I know people may say that Tottenham never made it to the Champions League this season, but look, we're looking at individual performance. The fact that we had the likes of Bruno Fernandes nominated, I do think the likes of Mahrez nominated, Mohamed Salah, Bruno Fernandes, that tells you that we're not only looking at how the teams performed, but how as an individual, as a player. Because if you're telling me that KDB is the player of the season, you're lying to me, because KDB to me was not even the best player at Man City.
I like
at Man City,
the
best player to me this season has been Ruben Diaz. And then obviously you can go to a player like Phil Foden. We've had inconsistent performances from KDB this season. I'm not saying that he was not performing really well, but he's not been consistent this season. We've had players who have performed well, better than him this season. And when's the last time that we saw a player win the Golden Boot and steal the most assist trophy? I think it's been like forever since we saw that. So I do think, yes, Harry Kane was robbed. But from me, Dennis, I do expect you to at least have something on Bruno Fernandes.
And that's exactly where I was heading, Eric Njiro. Of course, I was going for Bruno Fernandes' victory in the PFA awards. I do not understand on what grounds Kevin De Bruyne actually got to claim that trophy of the PFA award. Loten, maybe you explain to us exactly what went down in the awards.
I'll be very honest, Dennis. I couldn't wait for you to give me an opportunity, first of all, to express my sentiments when it comes to the PFA and what I actually think about it. And I know a lot of people are going to come at me, especially on digitals, using the hashtag TV47BanterZone, of course. But let me put it into perspective. Gentlemen, who votes for the PFA Players of the Year award?
It's the players.
It's the players. So these are men who play the game at the top level. They know class when they see it. It has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with systems and organizations. This is absolutely voted by individuals.
But even the players can be influenced by the media, by social media, by whatever is happening out there. And I do think right now where we are in 2021, it's so sad that the players and the judges who are even doing, let's say, the Premier League Hall of Fame, they have allowed themselves to be influenced by the social media of the day.
You can't use that word because
what do you mean? They have been influenced.
KDB had the second most assists, the top most when it comes to chances created in the league.
Bro, you cannot use chances created when Harry Kane scored the most goals and the most assists.
And KDB was able to lead his team into 3 finals and 1 semi-final. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Lawton, I'm just thinking.
Was KDB the best player at City?
When it comes to how he contributed?
Lawton, simple question. You've been singing about Ruben Dias the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Was KDB the best player at Man City?
It was arguably one of both.
Let me pick you up on that, Eric and Lawton. Of course, Ruben Dias had to go ahead and be fitted as well as a Manchester City player among the likes of Phil Foden. But we're going to talk about those two later. Right now, let me pick up Lawton about Kevin De Bruyne. Now, he's saying he got to earn that award after being voted for by the players of the English Premier League.
Absolutely.
Now, last episode of the TV47 BanterZone, I asked, is N'Golo Kante fit to win the Ballon d'Or? Now,
absolutely not.
Who votes for the Ballon d'Or?
Ballon d'Or is voted by coaches. That's national team coaches.
Yeah.
And what's it called? Captains and also.
And so why didn't you have the same sentiments about N'Golo Kante going for the Ballon d'Or as you're having right now about Kevin De Bruyne?
Okay, when it comes to N'Golo Kante and the Ballon d'Or, it's very simple. There's no argument. There's no point of debate here. N'Golo Kante, and I can get you that stat in the next couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Because N'Golo Kante had nothing on other central midfielders across Europe. So
you've gone ahead.
I'll read you the stats because one thing that KDB has to back him up is the statistics. Allow me to read this. So the Kimmich, Casemiro, and Kante comparison this season. Most goals across the board, Casemiro topped that. Most assists, Joshua Kimmich, obviously of Bayern Munich. Remember, all these gentlemen play in a similar position. Chances created, Joshua Kimmich. Most interceptions, Casemiro. Most tackles, Casemiro. Most clearances, Casemiro. Most recoveries, Casemiro. But Conte comes in and wins most humble and most charming smile. Well, so if we are actually going to use that as a platform to say, you know what, he deserves the Ballon d'Or, go ahead, give it to him.
A lot of stats coming off Lawton Salape, but Eric, do you think Kevin De Bruyne has been very instrumental in ensuring that Manchester City win the Premier League title this season?
Yes.
Lawton, your name is not Eric.
No, top assists. I need you to start. I want you to start your conversation from there. Top assists, most assists at City. Proceed.
You know, when you say about the players being instrumental to City winning the league, of course I do think up to around 6 players have been really good this season for Man City. But if I look why City won the league, the reason why they lost the league last season was because of Laporte. They went out there and got a defender from Portugal with Ruben Dias. This man here, Lawton, has been singing every day. This guy has been performing well, better than Van Dijk in his first season. He's going to lead us to Porto, where we are going to win the Champions League. He's going to win the Premier League, the FA Cup, and everything. I do think Ruben Dias helped Man City so much into winning this season, more than KDB. I'm not saying that KDB did not do the job, but I do think this season Ruben Dias stepped up well more than KDB. So KDB obviously performed well last season when he was the player of the season.
So what you're saying, Eric, essentially is Ruben Dias was robbed.
Well, yes, I would say that because I honestly expected this one to be between Ruben Dias and Harry Kane.
I'll take that. If that's your sentiments, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So, Dennis, for you, I never expected Bruno anywhere, and I do think, just like they did it, Bruno's nowhere.
Similar to Gini Wijnaldum and any other. Well, at least there's any Liverpool midfielder being mentioned, being associated with their awards.
Let me tell you something, Dennis.
Yes.
We're coming back next season. We've not been saying that someone has been robbed.
I just like the way you're putting next season into
even Salah.
I mean, that is
Salah was even a better player than Bruno.
I'm not really going to accept that, because I know a lot of Manchester United fans and a lot of football fans were following up with the English Premier League. That was the 2020-2021 season. And they've seen how integral Bruno Fernandes was for Manchester United and ensuring that United finished second on the English Premier League table. And that's probably why he should have won the PFA award.
No, not really. I think
even Joe Willock was instrumental for Newcastle.
But that's exactly the merit that Loughton Salepe is giving to Kevin De Bruyne.
Not even that. I mean, basically, when it comes to Bruno Fernandes, banter aside, he had a phenomenal season. What a signing he was for Manchester United. However, Eric will always talk about the eye test, he failed in what we call the eye test. Now, the eye test is basically where pundits, like most of us are, we sit down and we analyze and criticize. Yeah. And in this particular criticism is the fact that a lot of Bruno's goals were from the spot. So that actually watered down a lot
Let me
of
pick
his
you up on that, Loughton.
and everything.
The only reason why Bruno Fernandes was scoring from the spot is because Manchester United players were getting bundled in the box in situations where they could have scored amazing goals.
What?
And they got fouled. And they got fouled. That's how we got to score so many penalties. If United players are not getting fouled in the box, then we'd be having amazing goals for Bruno Fernandes.
Bro, there was a day you guys took a penalty after full-time whistle.
There's a day. Wait, this season is a season we've seen Bruno fouled Konsa and got a penalty. That's in the Aston Villa game. We remember that late last year. so how are you telling me that was an amazing goal?
So Dennis, so all these penalties are going to waste. Nothing, no trophy.
Nothing.
Nothing the entire season. You'll never remember them.
I tell you what, a lot of banter is coming my way.
Just before you conclude that, so today United put out a post on their Twitter celebrating how Bruno was instrumental.
Yeah.
And every United fan that was there was busy telling them, when are we going to finally give Bruno a trophy? And I think that's a question that Man United fans need to answer out there. It's been so long, 9 years, it's a problem.
How the conversation drifted from Kevin De Bruyne to Bruno Fernandes beats my logic. But let's get back to Bruno Fernandes and winning the PFA award without taking too much credit.
No, Kevin De Bruyne, bro.
All right, I beg your pardon. Let's focus on Kevin De Bruyne and winning the PFA award. Let's have a listen to what he had to say after bagging the accolade. Formed by my
precast panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits, convenient four-story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
Yes, they are a dime in a dozen, but the real meat on these bones comes from trying to realize them.
You just need to perfect anything. If it's drawing, if it's music, pursue it 100% because it's something that is giving back.
Join me, Violet Njoki, as I tell you the stories of these executed ideas, because yours
he earned the Young Player of the Season award. So, gentlemen, before we get to hear what Phil Foden had to say, how about we share our sentiments about him and winning the award? Of course, stiff competition from Mason Greenwood.
Bro, Dennis, let me tell you something.
You didn't even let me finish the list. But
you should never ever give Loughton a chance to praise Man City players, and especially Phil Foden. He called it Phil Foden to be the best English midfielders to ever do.
No. Let me say it nicely so that you can take it up from there. Phil Foden, he is the Stockport Iniesta.
Oh, God.
And now he is the Stockport Gaza. Eric, you can proceed.
Have you heard what he said?
I've just heard all that, yeah.
Never ever again give him a chance to talk about Man City players, because
but this is what he does,
and
then
spend 2 hours talking about Man City from.
This is what he does, and then when they go to big competitions like the Champions League,
anyway,
they flop completely.
My point for me is that this was one of the awards that I expected, and I do think, like the other week when we saw, I do think the Premier League Player of the Season and the Young Player of the Season when Foden was given that award, most people expecting this. Although there's still another section of fans who are rightfully expecting Mason Mount to win it. The other point, though, obviously because the fact that Mason Mount has been instrumental for Chelsea, unlike Foden, obviously they don't play the same position. Foden is obviously an advanced role, unlike Mason Mount. But for Mason Mount, I do think he's been a key player, a key figure for both Frank Lampard and Thomas Tuchel, but mostly obviously we've seen in the Champions League. But for Phil Foden, I do think the reason why he won this award is because at that young age, he's been able to deliver even in big matches. And like Bruno Fernandes, like let's say the game against Liverpool, some of these big matches define players. And for a player like Phil Foden to go to Anfield and step up and kill Liverpool, I mean, bro, there was no otherwise. It had to be him. Congratulations.
Absolutely. And
congratulations. I like the fact that you're not taking a lot of credit away from Phil Foden. Truth be told,
you can't.
He's had a great season. He's been phenomenal in the English Premier League as well as the Champions League. In all competitions, he's been a phenomenal player. Seeing him rise up the ranks with the kind of confidence that he has, scoring very crucial goals for Manchester City. I mean, what a season for Phil Foden. Congratulations to Phil Foden. Lawton, anything you have to add for about
Jesus Christ. Dennis, I told you what?
Let's give credit where it's due. If it's if the day is for Lawton Selepe to shine about Manchester City players, registering good results and good performance on the international scene of football, then let him have it, Lawton.
Absolutely, and you know, Dennis, that's why I say you're a bigger gentleman than the man seated on your right, I believe, because that particular gentleman, not too many good things to say, because
let me ask you,
he might actually mention Curtis Jones at one point during this conversation.
What do you make of the comments earlier this season that Bukayo Saka was being better than Phil Foden?
I think both of them play different sports. One plays football. I'm not too sure what sport Bukayo Saka plays.
Oh God, I thought you said they play better.
But one thing for sure is the fact that Phil Foden, you know, Mason Mount is a great player. Let me put it out there for Chelsea fans. I'm not hating Mason Mount. He's a brilliant player. But Phil Foden is generational talent.
But I mean,
Phil Foden is a man that's going to deliver the Ballon d'Or for the English team.
Well, that's a long shot.
Phil Foden is the man that's going to win the Champions League as captain of England, as captain of Manchester City. Phil Foden is going to be the man that's going to take England very far in the Euros that starts tomorrow.
I like the name that Eric Giros brought up, Saka for Arsenal. He's also had a phenomenal season, but the difference between Foden and Saka is the fact, or the titles that both of these sides are bringing on board. Because you look at Foden and the goals that he's been scoring, he's been able to take City to the next level in each and every competition. But Saka, yes, he scores, he lifts Arsenal to victories, but the club is just not going anywhere in terms of, you know, titles and competitions.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, you know, Bukayo Saka, I mean, he's been forced to be the man at Arsenal, which is a lot of credit to him, and I think that's phenomenal. But yet again, somebody like Phil Foden, he was supposed to come in and replace a legend of the game, David Silva, and he's been able to take up that responsibility. Phil Foden has single-handedly benched one of the greatest English wingers, and that's Raheem Sterling. And
well, Raheem's not that great,
bro. I mean, Raheem Sterling has over 100 goals for City, bro. That's phenomenal.
When you play for City,
how many players at Liverpool have 100? Gini Wijnaldum was, you know, I don't know if we have time to talk about it later. But Gini Wijnaldum was
Netherlands on the lineup.
Gini Wijnaldum was being celebrated today by Liverpool for winning 3 trophies. Phil Foden has 4 Carabao Cups. Bro, I mean, it's levels. So at City,
you expect... When you mentioned Gini has won something that you lost last week.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay.
It's listen.
Tell this guy about Champions League.
I like that sentiment.
We win,
and beating Chelsea is not for everyone, but then
we win.
How did you lose to Chelsea?
But you also
loses to Chelsea in the Champions League final?
But you also lost to Chelsea in the Premier League.
We beat them.
You know what, gentlemen?
To Chelsea.
We're talking about Manchester City players getting fitted. Of course, Ruben Dias was also among the list of the players of Manchester City getting fitted. Now, Lawton, again, it seems like it is your day to talk about City players and, being top performance in the Premier League.
I mean, Ruben Dias, the best player on the planet. Simply phenomenal. I mean, at 24 years old, just turned 24 this week, the last week. What a talent! And just to think about it, before we got Ruben Dias. Before we got Ruben Dias, we wanted to buy Jules Koundé from Sevilla. And how I am grateful that we did not end up with that French merchant. Because, probably we might not have won the league because Ruben Dias is phenomenal. And one thing for sure, and I'll say it right here, and I'll be bold and I'll put my mouth to it, is I have a hunch that Ruben Dias might be in the top 3 for Ballon d'Or come next year.
Hold that thought right there. I'm being informed we'll do a very short break. This is just the tip of the iceberg. A lot is prepared for you tonight. A lot of discussions ranging from the international friendlies to the Euro 2020 build-up. Now, do not go too far because we're heading into a very short break. When we come back, we'll be giving you more entertaining football conversations. Stay tuned.
Precast panels. We have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits. Convenient for story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
Yes, they are a dime in a dozen, but the real meat on these bones comes from trying to realize them.
You just need to perfect anything. If it's drawing, if it's music, pursue it 100%.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. In case you're just joining us, this is TV47BanterZone, your home of entertaining football conversations. Now, before we headed into the break, we were talking about the accolades earned by Manchester City players. Eric Njiru could not have enough of the braggadocious talk coming from Lawton Salapay. So how about we skip the talk about Manchester City because I feel like it's enough said about City and winning the accolades. Now, we're heading into the international friendlies, but before we talk about the international friendlies, how about Lawton Salapay? You take us through the social media feedback.
All right, so obviously a lot of you coming through Palik on your Twitter using the hashtag TV47BanterZone. We actually really value your feedback, so keep it coming so that you can be part and parcel of this conversation. Ben comes through and says it's obviously Harry Kane was robbed. Even Curtis, he has the audacity to say Curtis Jones was better than Kevin De Bruyne this season. I don't know where Chelsea Liverpool fans have that strength. Somebody else comes through and says, what do you mean Kante won what do you mean? Kante won a World Cup, UEFA Cup. He was outstanding. That guy deserves the Ballon d'Or. And
I'd really like to know who threw in that sentiment.
It's called Guy. So he comes through and says that. Then finally, one more, somebody comes through and says, even though the other coaches are reading, they're not reading Pep. So he's obviously talking about Pep and his tactics. Ilkay Gundogan came in today and obviously spoke about how Pep messed up that particular game. We'll definitely get into that. And then finally, Moses comes through and says, Lowton is now called the humble one. I don't think the gentleman on this particular set share that particular sentiment.
I like that. Well, keep the comments coming in. Of course, we'll be right here to read through your feedback as you get to engage with us and interact with us. Now, without further ado, it's about time we talk about the international friendlies. Now, England, who were playing against Romania, they emerged victorious by 1-0. The person that scored for England being Marcus Rashford, the one and only Manchester United superstar. Let's have a look at the highlights of that game.
Taken on now by Grealish. Lovely little exchange.
Precast panels. We have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits. Convenient four-story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for...
Well, Lowton, Eric, it earned England a victory.
Absolutely.
Something Phil Foden couldn't do, something, all these other English players couldn't do. Rashford had to step up and score for England.
Relax, my friend. You do not have to bring the club tax everywhere.
Not even that, though. Phil Foden obviously did not play in that particular game. A man like Gareth Southgate was resting his best players for the actual Euros.
Like Pickford.
Yeah, he was resting everybody else. Even Pickford didn't play in this game.
Oh.
Yeah, Pickford didn't play. Sam Johnston. Yeah, Sam Johnston played. So this was the second team of England, except a few individuals here and there. But anyway, I'm happy for Marcus Rashford with that penalty. But I think there's something more important that you missed in that particular clip.
Yeah.
That Jordan Henderson penalty miss. I think it's about time we speak about that, because Henderson comes through, hasn't played for England for God knows how long, and he gets an opportunity to double England's lead, and Jordan Henderson does what typical Jordan Henderson should do.
And remember, Jack Grealish actually wanted to take up the penalty spot.
Absolutely.
And he refused.
Anyone can miss a penalty.
No, listen, we've come to this show and we've trashed David De Gea for missing a penalty. So we need to be as commensurate when it comes to that inspiration merchant.
Yeah, because I'm thinking when you're taking up the penalty and when you're taking the ball from a set piece specialist like Jack Grealish, then you must be very confident
that
you're going to convert the penalty.
He pulled rank.
All of a sudden, he misses the penalty.
Eric, I need you to address the nation. Kenyans want to hear your word. What is wrong with Henderson? Should he even start for England?
What?
Yes.
How can you be talking about starting for England?
Because he's not the best central midfielder in England.
He is the best central midfielder for England.
Bro, we all know we rate Phillips higher than Henry.
No, we don't rate Calvin Phillips higher than Jordan Henderson, man. We're talking about a Premier League winner, a team leader for Liverpool, a team leader for the English squad. But anyway, listen, guys. The penalty should have been taken by, let's say, someone else like Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Rashford, or like you said, Jack Grealish. We also don't understand why Hendo took the penalty, because he's not even the best penalty taker at Liverpool. He's not even, I think, top 3, because I do think it's Salah, Milner, and I think Bobby or someone else. So, but anyway, any player can miss a penalty, and it's good that now at least he took the penalty to know how good or how bad he is, because when they go probably to a possible penalty shootout in the Euros, he can now improve on himself and probably send England to the semis or the final.
Dennis, can you imagine a situation where somebody is referred to as a leader, but he cannot take a penalty? So what are you leading?
Anyone can miss a penalty. John Terry, one of the greatest captains of the game, missed a penalty when his team needed to win the Champions League.
John Terry, we can blame the rain.
Even
but
John,
you know what?
We can blame the wind at Wembley.
Leighton, Eric, regardless, England showcased their, dominating performance when it comes to the international scene. They emerged victorious. Yes, they did emerge victorious, despite the fact that Jordan Henderson missed the penalty. Yes, a lot of question marks to be put upon that. But still, England, throughout the 90 minutes, showcased how well they have chemistry within them, and they emerged victorious in that match. Now, with that said, another team in the international friendlies that showcased its dominance when it comes to the sport of football is Germany. They were playing against Latvia, emerging victorious by 7-1. Let's have a look at how that match unraveled.
Havertz has done well again.
Precast panels. We have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits. Convenient for story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
The side, do you see this side being a very, very strong contender of the Euro 2020? Now, this is just briefly because we're going to talk about the Euro 2020 in a bit, but maybe your sentiments about the friendly against Germany and Latvia.
I mean, obviously, just to start it off, I wouldn't see too much into it. They were playing Latvia, not the highest when it comes to the FIFA, or rather in standing when it comes to the FIFA coefficient. So nothing to write home about. It was obviously Watkins' Law opportunity to obviously bring the team together, try out a few tactics, and there they worked on the night. But when we get an opportunity to speak about the Euros, because they, Germany, are in Group F, and Group F this year at the Euros, that's a group of death. That's a group where if you come out of that particular group unscathed, then probably you stand a chance to walk away with the tournament.
Yeah, Eric, your brief sentiments about Germany.
Well, I do think, like Lotan said, obviously, Germany, they're looking good, but they're in a very tricky group. I do think if you come out of that group, you're obviously going to go far. But the fact that they've won the World Cup, but the Euros keep obviously still eluding them. And I do think this is the last tournament for the coach, that is Joachim Löw. And their players, at least they have the experience, and their guys, I do think the likes of Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Gnabry now, and obviously the experience, the likes of Manuel Neuer. So I do think it's a big shot for them. I do think this Euro, they stand a very big chance. And the fact that that big time experience, it could come in hand to helping them overcome big teams like let's England or teams like Switzerland, who really end up being a really team that is going to pose a big challenge to them if they're to go all the way to the semi-final or the final, or even teams like Portugal.
Well said right there by Eric Njiru. Now another interesting fixture in the international friendlies. So Belgium play against Croatia. Belgium emerging victorious by 1-0.
Goes long this time towards Lukaku. Lovely spin from him.
The best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits. Convenient for story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant.
Beaten by 1-0. Maybe your brief sentiments about this fixture.
You know, Belgium, for me, I do think, just like Germany, this is their time. This golden generation, they have to deliver. And I do think time is running out for them. Lukaku has been on form for Inter and now for Belgium in the friendlies and the qualifiers. And obviously the likes of Hazard. I do think like Hazard, Eden Hazard, this is probably his last tournament as a national team player. So I do think time is calling, time is going for them. They have to do it this season. And I do think they have played well, they gel, they know each other well. They've played, I do think, for a couple of seasons together. If you look at their defense, their goalkeeper, their players have been playing together for so long, and their coach understands the game really well, and they have a really good group. So the fact that they have played well together could come as an advantage over the other teams who are trying to make up their teams together right now, or the last one or two seasons. So I do think time for them to deliver is now. A lot will be asked if they don't do this. Remember, they're going, I think, to the Euros as the #1 ranked nation in the world, and that tells you a lot that they've been doing so well in the last couple of seasons. So I do think time for this generation of Belgium squad to deliver is now, and let's say the next World Cup, because after that the cycle changes. The likes of Akina Hazard will start now retiring. Let's say the likes of the defenders Vermaelen, Vertonghen, Lukaku will start now getting old. The time for them is now in the next 2 years.
Absolutely. And also just on that particular sentiment, I've just opened the Belgian team and looking at how they are structured. I think this is a one team that more or less looks like the modern day Johnny Bravo, if I can use that particular word. Very heavy at the attack, because in the attack they are led by, and Eric was not mincing his word, they're talking about somebody like Romelu Lukaku, Mertens is somewhere there, Michy Batshuayi. And then now in the midfield is where the firepower is, the likes of Timothy Castagne, or rather, Yuri Tillemans, Axel Witsel, Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, who they're suspecting that might not be ready for that first game. But where I think they have a challenge is in the defense. They only have the likes of Toby Alderweireld. He didn't have obviously a good season with Spurs. Thomas Vermaelen, who vanished. He vanished into the abyss when he went. He actually plays with Ayub Timbe in Japan, I believe.
He left Barcelona.
Yeah, he plays in Japan now. Detrick Boyata, Vertonghen, Thomas Munet, Jason Denay, and Timothy Castagne. So now my question is, they're very good on the offensive. But now how do they defend? And I think that's the one place, if they're able to subdue their personality on any opponent, any team will buckle. But if they get a team with the likes of, or rather like France, the Netherlands, etc., then it's going to be a very big challenge, especially at the back.
And that's a good point, because when you get good teams, let's say teams with, like right now in Europe, we have like the best youngsters, Sancho, let's say Haaland, we've got the likes of Lewandowski, guys who are experienced, good strikers. I don't think they can punish a team like Belgium a lot.
Well, you know, there is a famous saying that attack is the best defense. And with that said, of course, one of the best, the most prolific strikers to ever grace the sport is Thierry Henry, who's back to coaching the side as an assistant coach. So this says a lot about the Belgian side. Yes, you've talked about the nation being the modern day Johnny Bravo. But then again, when you look at the attack and the firepower that they have, well, they can concede a goal. But if they go ahead to score probably 3 or 4, then they are a winning side.
Not really. I mean, the ability to concede one goal, it only helps you when it comes to league football. At the tournament level, tournament is unakam, unachapa shughuli, you leave. And that's what sometimes teams end up, that's why in tournaments it's very rare that you find a team conceding 4 or 5 goals in a particular match. It's usually 1-0, 2-1. On a good game, you'll get a 3-1 result.
4-0.
Or 4-0 is very rare, unless the opposition was really bad. So my concern is, if Belgium go 1-0 down to a team like Italy,
Italy, yeah.
Where do you start from? How do you compose yourself? Because this is a tournament, you concede in the first half, they go into the break 1-0. They only have 45 minutes to shut shop. And based on some of these players, I remember FIFA or rather UEFA allows you 5 substitutes. You can actually make 5 substitutes full of, and just pack up your box and make it very hard for a team like Belgium. So it's going to be something it's a dynamic I'm sure Robert Martinez has looked at, but I can't wait to see a situation whereby Belgium go down, and then we'll see how best they will respond.
Well, with the highlights that we just saw of the teams that are playing in the international friendlies, now the teams gave us a hint of how they're going to perform in the upcoming Euro 2020, which by the way begins on Friday, that is tomorrow. Now talking about the Euro 2020, how about I cue in the second question of the day with regards to the Euro 2020. Now it goes like, which team is most likely to win the Euro 2020 tournament? Which team is most likely to win the Euro 2020 tournament? Keep your feedback coming in to our social media platforms. Now, as we get to interact, gentlemen, with the question that we've just queued right now.
Yes.
How about we start off by each and every one of us selecting a team that they feel is a strong contender of the Euro 2020. Now, I'll go first. I'm going for an England victory. I know I'm going to get a lot of banter coming off both of you, but I'm going for an England victory.
Why are you like this, man? Like week in, week out, man.
But let me tell you, it's so predictable that Man United fans are supporting 2 teams, either Portugal or England, for obvious reasons.
We could have gone for France. We could have been supporting France because we have one of our best players playing for France.
You will be
just going with logic. I mean, sometimes this football analysis, you just have to look at which club seems more promising, which club seems to have a way of making it through and winning the title.
So why are you Team England? Allow me to ask that.
I'm going for the kind of motivation that England has. It has not won any title on the international scene in such a long time. Young players who want to put their name on the scene. Young players, the likes of Phil Foden, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, these are players who want to shine a lot for their nation.
Okay, I'm listening to you, and allow me just to open the England team and let's just go through it together. Let's start at the back. I'm a massive fan of goalkeepers. Jordan Pickford, arguably what he can simply do is catch the ball. He can't play out from the back.
Well, Pickford is not even top 6 goalkeepers.
Exactly, he can't command the defense. So that's it can become a very big issue. When it comes to shot stopping, I'll give it to him.
That's exactly the role of a goalkeeper.
Listen, every basic goalkeeper, myself, Eric has played goalie before, has to catch the ball. If you can't catch the ball, you're simply not a goalkeeper. But in a modern day football, a goalkeeper must have something a little bit more. Is it that you can pass from the back? Is it that your composure? Is it that
and you've talked about commanding the players. That's the role of a captain.
We'll get into that. All right, so England have injury issues, obviously. Harry Maguire, massive doubt. How do you start at the back? Is it John Stones versus Aston Villa's Tyrone Mings? Is that what you're looking for? Or Conor Cody that played, for Wolves that finished, I think, 14th, 15th? So how do you play at the back? Because obviously
Ben Davies, Ben White.
Ben White that comes in. How are you going to play in midfield? Henderson is a massive doubt. How do you start a game with only Declan Rice and probably Mace and probably Calvin Phillips?
Yeah, I do think they'll go Mr. Mount, Rice and Phillips.
It's going to be a massive problem. Up front, obviously, you have all the firepower that you need. But going back, you guys and Belgium, but there's no much difference.
You talked about the injuries, and what you seem to forget is that these are not long-term injuries. Harry Maguire might be back on the playing fields anytime soon. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a doubt. He's
out of the team completely.
You know, like Loshan said, Harry, I do think certain training
today.
Today
was the first time.
Tomorrow.
He's not played for 2 months. Exactly.
Hendo had not played from Feb. He played his first game on Sunday when you guys played Romania. And you're telling me those are the people that you're expecting to lead you to win the Euros. I do think England, we have 2 strong positions, right back and forward.
Absolutely.
You
Kyle Walker and Harry Kane.
You can't win a tournament like that. Italy are unbeaten in like the last 18 matches.
3 years.
Like I've always said, the football is round. It can bounce on either side. Well, I've gone for an England support. I am supporting England. Lawson, maybe you tell us the side that you're supporting.
Stop depending on witchcraft.
Depending on witchcraft. Oh man, listen, it's arguably, I've supported this team basically all my life. It's my other team when I'm not supporting the Harambe Stars and obviously Manchester City. Yeah. It has to be France. But, or rather, let me say the pros that we have at France. I mean, very experienced side. The young people that are joining the side are obviously people that have great pedigree. At the goalkeeper level, we have Mike Magnan, who's coming obviously from a title-winning side with Lille. Recently just transferred to AC Milan. In that back line, the only issue I have is the fact that some of the defenders that won with us the World Cup, like Umtiti, was not available. But obviously we have what we need at the back. However, my biggest concern now is in the forwards. We are very well packed. Antoine Griezmann, Olivier Giroud, Kylian Mbappe, Dembele, Benzema, Ben Yedder, and obviously Marcus Thuram. But yesterday, or rather the day before yesterday, when Olivier Giroud scored last night. The day before yesterday, when he scored that particular goal to edge closer to Thierry Henry's all-time goal scoring list for France, Giroud went and did a press conference, and he said that sometimes he feels like players don't want to give him the ball. And apparently, rumor has it, that triggered a massive confrontation at Clairefontaine, between him and Kylian Mbappe. And I mean, the last time France were in such a similar situation was in the 2010 World Cup, where they had just won the World Cup the previous time.
No, they won.
Yes,
Italy won.
Sorry, they just got to the final. Yeah. But it was a problem. So I'm just hoping that moving forward, there's no two factions in the team when it comes to Team Benzema and obviously Team Olivier Giroud. And yet again, with somebody like Olivier Giroud that's very close to that particular milestone, does that mean he will change how he's playing? Will he start being selfish so that he can be able to achieve that particular milestone? Because after this, obviously the French team is going to revolutionize and obviously change dimensions, because somebody like Zizou might come to the side to coach this team. We never know. But for me, I think France have this tournament to lose. They are absolutely the world's favorite to win this tournament.
What a way to sum it up about the France talk and the support that Laurent Selepe is giving to the French nation. Now, just before Eric Njiru tells us which side he's supporting, some of the feedback that is coming through, now I'm getting John Amasi, who's saying, I'm watching from Masai Lodge following the BanterZone conversation, and I think Bruno Fernandes deserved to be the PFA award winner.
Well,
this is regard to the first question of the day, yeah?
The first part where he said he's watching the show
from Masai Lodge
was good, but the second part of Bruno, no.
Well, thank you, John Masai. Of course, thank you so much. Keep interacting with us on our social media platforms. Now, I see Champ the Don with regards to the second question of the day saying, I am Team France all the way.
Absolutely. Allez le bleu.
Yeah, also Champ the Don. Thank you so much for your feedback. Now, as we progress, Eric Njiru, you're just about to reveal the side that you're supporting to win the Euro.
This one will be a shocker.
Yes. Now, let me tell you, I'm not like Dennis where I jump ships because my captain plays due for this team. All my children heroes do is playing for which team, taking penalties.
All right.
I've been supporting this team from around 2007, as far as international football is concerned.
Yeah.
I support Spain.
Oh.
And the fact that Morata is our main man, I have completely no hope of winning the Euro 2020.
Absolutely no hope.
I mean, that is
exactly. Unless the other team that I want them to do well is North Macedonia. Let's go Alioski. Let's go Pandev.
Absolutely. And you know, North Macedonia is a team that nobody, I think they'll be the dark horses of the tournament. But just to look at Spain, and let's to bring Eric on this one.
Yeah.
Recently, Spain had a massive issue when Busquets tested positive for COVID.
And still another player.
And Marcus Llorente tested negative after 2 tests today. So my question to you is, how does a team like this, especially with no leadership at the back, with the absence of Sergio Ramos, how do you now, you've taken out another captain from the midfield, especially for the first couple of games.
Experience.
How do you now move on from here?
Well, I do think, like I've said in the last couple of weeks, I do think this Spain team is a team for the future. And I was expecting at least like across the board to play just young players. I saw a very young squad play Lithuania, I think the day before yesterday in the friendlies, and they won, I think, 4-0.
Yeah.
Realistically speaking, Spain stand no chance. And I do think they should be looking at the future. their young players, the likes of Asensios, I don't know who, they need now to look for the World Cup next season. They need to look for the Euros in 2024. Prepare for that. Look at how other teams did, like Germany, let's say, like even Spain, when they selected players who are not experienced, I think from 2007, they can still go back there. For now, I do think it's about playing together, jelly now, and the coach trying to know who can play where next season when they go to the World Cup in Qatar.
And there are teams that we haven't talked about extensively. Just to give our brief sentiments about them, I'm talking about England. I mean Italy. We haven't talked about it extensively. Netherlands, which was once a great nation in terms of football, taking a dip in terms of form. Maybe later you'll give me your sentiments about the Netherlands side. And then, well, we've talked about Spain and we've talked about Germany. So maybe you throw in your sentiments about Netherlands and Italy.
I do think Netherlands, they had a chance when they played in the UEFA Nations League 2019. But the fact that they're missing key players, Van Dijk has been out the entire season.
Is it the only player that can play at the back?
Memphis Depay has been, not Memphis, this guy who plays for Man United, Don Van de Beek, has been ruled out for the entire tournament. I do think that broke their team so much. For Italy, I do think we should not sleep on Italy. They're a key team that may win the Euros this season, this year. People are underrating them because obviously people think they're too defensive or stuff, like the Italian football, the traditional way of playing. But I do think people should not sleep on them. They can punish you, especially those attacking teams like Belgium and France. Score one, sit back like they've been doing the Champions League or in the Europa League matches. So I'm going for Italy as one of the dark horses because not so many people expect them to win this season.
Interesting. And when you talk about Italy, I love Italy because they have a really good keeping section. They have really good goalkeepers, amazing midfield. My only concern again with Italy, it has to be the defense, because when you look at that particular back line, it's very old. The likes of Cellini's, the likes of Bonucci's. I can see Florenzi, Bastoni somewhere in there. But I think the dark horse that nobody is really talking about has to be the Portuguese country, or Portugal.
Well, they're favorites.
This is one of the strongest sides at this year's Euros. I mean, they have the most perfectly balanced team, all the way from the back with Rui Patricio and obviously Anthony Lopez. And then in the defense, they have the greatest player right now in the world, Ruben Diaz, playing alongside probably Pepe. They have João Cancelo, Jose Fonte, who just won the league with Lille. Going into the midfield, they have the Portuguese Messi, that's Bernardo Silva, João Moutinho somewhere in there.
Portuguese Messi.
They have Ruben Neves, and obviously a man like penalty match and Bruno Fernandes, who scored a worldie yesterday. But up front is where I'm very interested in. Cristiano Ronaldo, top scorer at Juve this year, brilliant individual. Andre Silva, if you've watched anything close to the Bundesliga this year, you know he's been massive for Eintracht Frankfurt. Great player. They have Rafa Silva, who we really don't know too much about, and then Diogo Jota, who's been critical for what Klopp has achieved this year at Liverpool, and obviously João Felix,
can you say,
who is a phenomenal individual altogether.
When you mention Diogo Jota, you have to mention the best Portuguese in the Premier League.
Is he behind
I'm very sure
the Portuguese Messi?
Is talking about Bruno Fernandes.
No, he's definitely talking about the Portuguese
Messi. I've left the two of you to argue who is the second best.
I mean, one won the league. The other one is trying to fight for something.
Well, I'm just going for Bruno Fernandes, in this discussion. Of course, Bruno being the best Portuguese player.
Oh my God.
He's not even the best Portuguese in Manchester.
He's not even the best in Manchester, bro.
I mean, those are your opinions.
No. Ruben Diaz is the best Portuguese in Manchester.
And then Bernardo
Silva. And then Semedo.
And Eric, I really want to understand, who do you think is the best Portuguese player, within that squad?
Right now?
Yeah.
CR7, man.
Well,
leadership.
I do think right now, obviously, with the experience and what is done for that team, and obviously who is, it has to be Cristiano for now.
Yeah.
He's still not yet out. Even Argentina is still Messi. So I do think Cristiano is still the most important player for them.
You guys never cease to amaze me. You're talking about Bruno Fernandes being a penalty merchant. That's exactly what made Cristiano Ronaldo top scorer.
Listen, bro.
In the Serie A.
You know what? This show started very well. You're about to ruin it.
No, not entirely.
Dear viewer, forgive my friend. What he said, he didn't mean it.
But you know what? Yes, I'm not going to dispute the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo is actually the best player in the world. But this season, age is slowly catching up to him.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not going to say that he is the best player in Portugal. That's why I'm going for a Bruno Fernandes selection.
Bruno is not an assured start at Portugal.
Yeah, he plays actually behind Neves.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not an assured. So you cannot be the best not to even start in matches.
Well, gentlemen, with that said, of course, a few feedback coming back from you. I can see Andrew Kapima, who's saying Team Macedonia. This is with regard to the second question of the day, which was which team is likely to win the Euro 2020. Andrew Kapima, Team Macedonia. I'll go with thinking about, your second name, Kapima. I mean, bro.
He knows ball. You know
Macedonia
ball,
winning the Euro 2020.
No. I mean, we've seen surprises at Euros. 2004.
Yeah.
Greece won.
Iceland 2016, they were
Iceland 2016, beautiful team. So anything can happen.
Yes. Also, Ben is saying England will win the Euro 2020. Now, with that said, I'm being informed we're running out of time on TV47 BanterZone. What an amazing episode it has been. We have talked about the accolades that have been earned by Manchester City players. We've been talking about the international friendlies. And with that said, of course, an interesting show it has been. Many thanks to the entire team that made this show possible. Now, my name is Dennis Otieno. I do want to thank you for choosing to join us, both of you gentlemen. Amazing thanks, and thank you so much for your amazing insights on set.
Yeah, of course, thank you for having us. You're back next week. Euros do start tomorrow. Team Spain, Moratos to Angusha Mtuangu.
And obviously, you can keep the conversation happening even as you watch your Euros at home using the hashtag TV47BanterZone. We will look forward to watching the game alongside with you.
Well, but agree that Bruno is not the best Portuguese in Manchester.
I mean, if you're a Manchester United fan and you're a Portugal fan, you know where the facts lie. Bruno Fernandes is still the best in the world. Now you're back at home. Keep it sporty at all times. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. My name is Dennis Otieno, alongside Lowton Salapei and Eric Njiru. Keep safe. Good night.